Welcome to the Daily Fight. My name is Robyn Tanner, and this is the podcast where anything goes. We are fighting for our future self. And if you are listening, it's because you're in the middle of a mess, you're on the rise, you're in a transformation, and you are fighting like hell for your future self. Today, I'm kind of fighting for mine. I'm doing something that I said I would never do, and that is interview a guest. So I have Ilka Lander here today, and she is an awesome badass. And I couldn't have picked a better woman to be here today because she's actually my speaking buddy, my accountability partner, and she's actually the one that matches my energy and kicks me into high gear. So if you want anybody else fighting in your corner, she is the one to do it. So I want to welcome you today, Ilka. Thank you for being here with me. Anything goes. So I hope we have
Awesome.
some fun today.
Awesome, man. That's a really a great intro and big shoes to fill. But I'm so glad to be here. And yeah, I'm grateful for you as a accountability partner and the path with the speaking business that we're
Yeah.
building and all those things. I don't know that I can match your energy though. At times
Oh,
I probably can, but man, if you could only bottle that.
no, 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 no. You know you can. So it is. I'm pretty tough, but boy, the audience, do not let her. If you are watching this or if you are listening to this, like go to her social media right now. Is it just? Oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it out there right now. It's in the show notes, but tell them what it is.
It's my name. It's Ilka Lander. So I'm fortunate to have a unique name. So there's not a lot of competition out there for that handle. But yeah, and probably I have similar energy in different ways, capacity to do so many different things. You know, when I talk to people in my circle, they know this, but outside of that regularly, that's kind of the reflection I get when they look at my life and the things I do, that I do a lot of different things
Yeah.
simultaneously. And so that's just capacity. That's what I call it. But yeah, I guess that would be equal energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we're going to dive into all about you in just a second, but I definitely just wanted to thank you and give you some mad props for that because I'm pretty particular about who I surround myself with. And you guys, this is one incredible woman, and I can't wait to dive into her daily fight and what she is doing in her life. And I can't wait to just get into that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn and the reason I'm doing this, guys, right, because the daily fight is about challenging yourself, calling yourself out and calling yourself up. And so as I'm rising into my future self as a keynote speaker, as a best-selling author, as a teacher and a coach of somebody of adversity and resilience, and really fighting for your dreams and not abandoning yourself and who you are, being bold and unapologetic about it. um, I'm doing something this month in November to bring on some other badass women who are out there representing in the world. So I've got Inspired Courage Daily. So I'm representing in my hat today. It's not because I didn't want to dress up for you guys, but I thought it was appropriate to do the whole. Of course, you guys also know that this is the real Robyn, and I show up pretty bold and unapologetic. So I want to go ahead and I want you to introduce yourself, Ilka, with what are you fighting for right now, that would introduce yourself to everybody if you were to just tell us what you're fighting for.
Gosh, that's a good question.
Just come out with those
I'm
doozies.
Yeah, I'm I'm always fighting for the next level, right? Like I feel like I'm always a common like thread in my life has always been like you conquered this mountain, what's next? What's going to bring you closer to the best version of yourself, if you want to say that, but it's not a finite thing, right? That
Yeah,
evolves
yeah,
as you grow, as you get to the next level, you realize something else about yourself or your circumstances, and you're like, all right, I I want to go to this. This is my next challenge, and what's next for me? And so I'm super intense and disciplined, and so I kind of figure out what is that. what is it that I'm aiming for and how am I going to get there? And so everything I've done, I mean, from as long as I can remember, has always been that way. It's just the circumstances around me that have changed for
Yeah.
sure.
Y- Yeah, because your background is you've been in law enforcement, you've been a professional dancer, you own a lodge and a winery, right? And you've got like a
Yeah.
wedding venue.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a mom, you've owned a
Yeah.
martial arts studio, like what you're a keynote speaker. What I know you're into fitness, like I'm into fitness.
Yeah.
What am I missing? What am I leaving out?
I published author. I published my
Published
first
author.
book last year, so that was super cool. The kid thing was a later in life, but it was been some of my most important and most insightful jobs I've ever had. And it's ongoing
Yeah.
because I still have two 14-year-olds. I have twins at home. But yeah, I mean, I've just been blessed with the ability to not stop with change. I've actually probably just um, like enveloped the idea of change. And so I do things for a while, build them up, and then look for the next challenge. So yeah,
Yeah.
from classically trained ballerina, law enforcement, all of those things that you mentioned are, they all look from the outside really disconnected and separate, but they really aren't. There really is
Yeah.
a theme of wellness, fitness always have been involved in moving your body as part of life. Um,
Yeah.
so there are some common themes. It all has to
A
do
lot of
with people.
discipline.
Like I
Yeah.
love talking to people, being with people, understanding their story, understanding why. Even when I was in law
Mm.
enforcement, I initially started because I was so interested in behavioral science, into the and obviously it was on the far end extreme of that spectrum, but the serial killers and the sociopaths and what motivated them,
Oh,
what
you're one
made
of those.
them.
You stay up late watching all of those, huh?
I
You're one
don't
of those people?
anymore. I don't anymore, but I did, and that was
That's okay.
fascinating. It was fascinating
Yeah.
to me. So there is like a common thread all the way now in hospitality with my winery,
Yeah.
resort, spa, and venue. I'm dealing with people on the other side of the spectrum, so much happier, nicer, not the criminal elements, but
Yeah.
it's still people and what motivates them, what makes them happy, what's they're passionate about. So, um, and in coaching as keynote speaker too, for me, keynote speaking is just a more efficient way to get the message out there, to inspire somebody to shift their perspective. Where when you do one-on-one, it's important, but it's really just that one, and then the next one, and the next one. And you only have certain amount of hours in the day, right? So we're really
Yeah.
changing time for that inspiration, that impact. And so I feel like when I get on stage, I have an opportunity to give somebody that one golden nugget, or that one piece that they may not have ever thought in that way, because it's
Right.
my
Right.
perspective, and they're like, oh wow, okay, so they can take that and run. So
Yeah.
it's
So that you mentioned that if you could only pick one of your golden nuggets, which one is it?
work hard and be useful.
Mm.
In the words of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right. Yes, yes, absolutely. Be useful. Yes.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
what does
work.
that mean to you? Because it can mean so many different things, right? So what does it mean to you?
Well, I think you got to work hard for things. I think the society, because of all the technology and things we've kind of swung to immediate gratification, and seeing the PR version of a lot of people and businesses, and how people present themselves, and we've lost touch with what it took to get there, the
Mm.
generational hard work to build on the consistency, the discipline, all of those things. And so,
Yes.
I tell my kids regularly, you don't have to be the smartest, the fastest, and the shiniest. You just have to show up consistently and be willing
Yes.
to do the work. The work,
Yes.
because if you really dive deep into some of these super high achieving people in different industries, from sports to finances to public speaking to any genre you want to look at, behind the scenes, they spend thousands and thousands of hours
Yeah.
dedicated to their craft, to what they want, to their goal. And I heard something really great just a couple of days ago. I heard this man say, it's not what you're willing to do always, but
Mhm.
it's what you're willing to give up.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I was like,
Yes.
oof, oh, that's
Yeah.
so good. And I'm stealing it because
Yeah.
I'm always telling them, do it, put the work in. But it's also, and that's
Yeah.
something I think I learned later in life. It's also what you're willing to give up. So if you're in college and you are, you have a health science degree that you're working towards and you want to become a doctorate of physical therapy, and every weekend there's a party and there's a beach this and there's you know, what are you willing to give up in order to reach your goal, right?
Yeah.
Don't go to the party.
Absolutely.
Don't drink. If you want to lose weight, don't eat the Halloween candy. What are you willing to give up is just as important, if not more, than what you're willing to do, which I think
Yeah.
is huge.
Yeah, hands down, I agree with you. One of my questions is, what are you willing to go homeless for? It's one, and obviously I don't mean it, literally, but I went homeless for my dream. And most people are not willing to sacrifice or see beyond.
Yeah.
And I love that you say that, because the daily fight is what I want to represent. And we talk about it in Speak to Freedom with Anthony Trucks, who is our amazing, awesome speaking coach. And we absolutely love Anthony Trucks. So go follow Anthony Trucks. And if you're a speaker or want to be a speaker, this is my shamelessly plug for our amazing coach. Go join Speak to Freedom. And that is not why we're doing this, but he teaches us how to do that dark work. And why I'm doing the Daily Fight podcast and why it's so embedded in me is because I was raised on that, like, elbow grease and the zip ties, and get your fingernails dirty and get on your hands and knees and scrub the floor and do the hard work and have the endurance and the perseverance to find a way and make a way. But most people aren't willing to do, they want it, but they're not willing to do that work. They're not willing to do, when the call is over and your coach is gone, are you willing to do the behind the scenes work? And most people don't
Yeah.
want to do that. And I wanted the Daily Fight to really represent the behind the scenes of becoming and growing your business, your entrepreneurship, your rise of becoming that author, that speaker, that business owner, that whoever it is that you're wanting to be. So I love that you say that, because that really ties into the whole purpose of
Yeah.
why I'm showing up here, to kind of document our journey of becoming and unbecoming our future self, because
Yeah.
it's kind of ugly and it's hard, but it's also beautiful on the other side when you get to the other side. I
And
mean,
how
we know each
great.
other.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
how great is
yeah,
it for our kids to see that, right? Like we're
just
both moms
yes,
and
yeah,
a lot of
it's
the people who
beautiful.
follow you, I know are parents, and that's another huge role. And I'm a
Yeah,
Gen X, so we're latchkey
yeah.
kids, right? So we had to do it anyway, like figure it
Right.
out and go
There was
outside
no
and
coming home from school until your parent. There was no checking me
yeah,
out early at 11 a.m. when the test was over. It was your butt staying in school all day. There was, like, I get what. Yeah,
yeah,
we were in it for the long haul. Yeah, I get it. I think it's great that our kids see it. That, I lived in that, money doesn't grow on trees, and I'm like, oh hell yes it does. We go create it. Like, we can create our lives and our businesses and services and programs, and we can go out there and generate conversations and connections that can create, a business, which then can create jobs for other people. I mean, you have a lodge that has that. Right before this, you were interviewing somebody for a job. I
yeah,
mean, this is the American dream, but it's also tough. There's a struggle in it. So that leads me to my next question is right now, whether in your life or your business or at home, anywhere you want to go with it, what is your daily fight?
Um, at, I guess I'll talk about my business because that's probably, they're very much interwoven because I even live on my property of my hospitality business. But it's surrounding myself with people like-minded like that. I'm very much a growth mindset, person. I'm very disciplined. I can be intense. But I'm also kind, empathetic, and so I've always dreamed that when I have my businesses, the different ones, I want to be surrounded by a team of those types of people too. Maybe in different seasons of their lives, the younger ones out of college, the, retirees. I kind of have a plethora of, I've got an 18-year-old and I have a 76-year-old who works for me. So there's a big wide group, but I really,
Yeah.
that's probably my biggest challenge these days is making sure that the company that I built, the team that I build, has those fundamental same core values. And it's just not easy to do. And so it requires me to not only just be astute at listening and deciphering if the person in front of me is, but how do I get that information? How do I determine? And that changes, you know, um,
Yeah.
as time goes by. I've been doing Paradise Hills for 24 years now. And so it's different. It was different 24 years ago than it is now because people are dealing with different things in the world. They're dealing with, advances in technology, but a difficult economy right now. They're dealing with post-COVID, anxieties and things like that. And so that's my biggest fight these
Mm.
days. And um, I'm working at it all the time. Like it's just a never ending thing. And the frustration I have felt probably always comes from not understanding that the journey is what it is. Like I'm never going to arrive there and be like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, now I have the team, or
Mhm.
okay, now I found all my people. Because as soon as that happens, somebody gets pregnant and and moves on to their lives, or they graduate
Yeah.
college and they go on, which
Yeah.
is totally expected and what I want for them. But then it starts
Mm.
over again. So as soon as I let go of the what shoulds, then then it's just about the journey and doing the work.
Yeah. Does that get tiring? The constant cycle of people coming in and out of your life that you have to, it sounds like, so I'm kind of going into coach mode here where I'm like, oh my gosh, you have to read these people, learn these people, understand these people, kind of get into their world, train them up, develop them, let them go manage them, and then and rise them up, and then they leave you good, bad, ugly for whatever reason. And then a whole nother group comes in and then the cycle repeats itself. That
Yeah.
sounds that sounds tiring.
It it is.
It
Any business
does. It's,
owner
I
tells
mean,
you it's not, is they're
that's
lying.
gotta be, yeah, that's gotta be I
Yeah.
mean, that's a lot of work. So like, and I know you're a woman that does the work. You do your meditations, you go to the gym, you do all, I mean, you just did this ultra race last weekend. I know you and we're planning, we're doing one in 2025. Like the world, here it is, we're doing one together. So what do you do? Okay, besides the working out and the meditation, like what's your go-to, um tell me if I'm wrong, that that's not tiring. um
Yeah, no, it's
what's your
1,000%. If all I did, and I've been there, I mean, that's what
yeah,
they call burnout. Like that's what
yeah,
happens. You just get
yeah.
burnt out.
So
It's a
how do we
business.
not burn out, right? How do you not quit? What keeps you from not going, throwing in the towel, F it, I'm out of here, peace out, quit on the property, quit on the dream, quit? What keeps you from, walking away from it all?
Is finding harmony in there. So making sure that from the business side, if you need the help, you get the help. If you need
Hmm.
the middle manager, you get the middle manager, and it becomes the priority.
Yeah.
As a business grows from 0 to 500,000 in revenue, from 5 to 1 million, and then 1 million to 3, each stages of business like that require a different way to show up. And so you have to be able to realize that when you're bringing in 1 million in revenue, that you no longer can have just generalists helping you out. You need to find a specialist, right? And then step up
Yes.
from that. And then the other part of that is, regardless of how I choose
Mm,
to manage my stress, you have to make the, like, it has to be a non-negotiable, right?
yes.
Like some
Yeah.
people are like, what? When I tell them I spend 3 hours every day, every single day,
Yep.
doing something for myself. And it
I'm with
sounds
you.
like crazy, like three
Yeah.
hours. I'm like, yeah,
Like,
if I add it up, I spend
yeah.
3 hours of time in my, you know,
100%. I'm with you.
12-hour
Yeah.
day for myself. And that
Hmm.
includes whatever I want: reading,
Yeah.
podcast, meditation, exercise,
Yes.
walking
Yes.
around, going to Starbucks with my teen, whatever it
Why
is.
is this not normalized? Why is that not normalized, especially for badass warrior women who are out, who are determined and who are ambitious and audacious, or even just the everyday woman, even just the, you know what it, why is this not even for men, why is this not normal just for people in general, that we are not spending, 3 to 4 hours, a quarter of our day, on self-care, on health, and self-care beyond an effing bubble bath, right? Like, that's not what we're talking about. But why
Yeah.
is this not normal? Why is this not part of, I tell my clients, this is part of your job. It is
Hmm.
literally part of your job to take care of yourself, your body, your health, your mindset, your attitude, your energy. Because
Yeah.
if I don't do what you're saying right now, I am I'm not on my game. I can't
Yeah.
function.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you said something that was really like important to point out, is the managing your energy, right? Like
Yes.
I just, this last weekend we had a wedding group and we did all of it. We did the rehearsal, we did the ceremony, we did the food, we did the wedding reception, we did all the things. And so we were at, like, I was in fifth gear, like running from one thing to the next and doing,
Yeah,
right?
I bet.
And then
Yeah.
Sunday, I had another tour I had to do with another couple, and then I changed from there. I put on my sweatpants, and then I binge watched, which I don't know. Judge me if you need to, but
Nope, nope. Let's hear it. What'd you binge watch?
which, with my teenager, we watched, because she loves Chicago Fire, so we watched
Okay,
Chicago Fire for
I'm down.
like
I'm a Law and Order girl, so that's kind of close. So okay.
4 or 5 hours. And I don't know.
Did
Some
it?
people
I'm
might
proud of
say you
you.
wasted the day. You
No, you
wasted the
didn't.
day, but I didn't. I got to connect with her and spend time, because we watch it and we chat and then we have some food and then
Yes, absolutely.
but it's being able to shift from fifth gear to first gear to second and back and
Yeah,
forth. And so
yeah,
that's a skill. Like, you have to develop that. That doesn't come
absolutely. Yeah.
naturally.
Mhm.
Some people they can't do that, or it takes them too long in between. And I know that that's a skill set that I have, is I can go into fifth gear and just jam it out, whatever I need to get
Yeah.
done and do.
Mhm.
And then I can, shift down and be like, I'm good. I'm just gonna go to yoga and hang out,
Yeah.
pet my
It's kind
cats
of
or
what you
something.
were talking about the other day about the yin and the yang, like we can't be in full force go mode all the time. And we've had this
No.
discussion privately, and then not have that inner peace and that inner calm and balance. Actually, you're also a massage therapist. We forgot to
Yeah.
mention that, guys.
That's right. Yeah.
But that we do, just because on the outside we have this, either tough exterior or this go mentality, this relentless, yes, we're going to, get the job done and achieve the mission and climb the mountain. But at the same time, we know when to take, I see those 5 hours with your daughter is probably the most important of the week, right? That you're
Yeah.
able to do that without guilt or shame or feeling
Yep.
bad about it, or you're not thinking about work, or you're not like worried about an employee or anything like that.
And without the
So I think,
shame, exactly what you
yeah,
just said,
yeah,
without
without the
the
shame.
shame
Yeah.
and the guilt and the making that, like you were saying before, normalizing that it's not a luxury. It's not a,
No.
if I have time to do that. I'm sad always when I meet women who are doing so many things, you know, heading their family and their kids and doing those responsibilities and their job, be it a 9 to 5 job, and not
Yeah.
prioritizing that, thinking
Yeah.
that that's the gift. And in reality, you're taking away from what you're able to show up as. You're not adding to how you can show up. And then there's people watching. These little
Yeah.
humans that we're bringing up, they need to be able to see that that's okay, you know, and
Yeah.
that's why I did the post the other day, because I present always as I'm like, go, 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 and do,
Go,
do,
go, go.
do, and
Yes.
push and
Hmm.
discipline and run
Yeah.
here and do the 25K and do, and so I try and make sure that I also highlight the fact that I take this time. I take this time and I do things that allow me to be soft, because
Yeah.
I was in law enforcement for 10 years and I loved the business, or the that industry. I loved my job. I was a trainer in law enforcement too. But the one thing that after I left that I really learned was that as women, especially because I was in a male dominant industry, that you don't allow that soft side is looked at as weakness, as
Yeah.
not something that you can ever lean in comfortably and let be seen without being, you know, a girl or soft or
Mhm.
not as capable or not as direct or any of those adjectives that sometimes we tell our little girls. Bossy, that was a big one for me. I was
Bossy.
told I was
Yeah.
bossy
Bossy.
so
Hmm.
much. And I was like, well, I'm just assertive and I'm clear on what I need and I'm confident.
Yeah.
Not the same. And so when I left law enforcement, I got to reconnect with that side of me that that I had really buried, that I thought was
Yeah.
necessary in that job. And so now, as I become more public as a person, I really want to make sure I also show the side that's soft, that doesn't have it always together, that takes the time, 3 hours a
Yeah.
day at least for herself. I have some posts in there that my kids were like, "What are you doing? Why are you putting that up there?" I'm crying in my car because I'm like, nobody can see me. But I'm an empath. I cry.
Yeah. Yeah.
My emotions are just as passionate as I am. I also have a lot of strong emotions, and sometimes those come out in tears. And
Yeah.
so when I do my keynote, I have a little clip that I share that was right in the beginning of COVID in March 2020, and it was a little video that I made after I had to sit down with all of my employees and let them go, because I wasn't able to afford to furlough them without knowing what had happened. And
Mhm.
quickly, from the day our governor closed the businesses, it was like a few days, another week, and it was quickly
Wow.
escalating. And so I had to make sure that I was going to survive that financially. And I had to let them all go, this team that I worked so hard to build. And
Yeah.
and I was really passionate about showing the difficulties that small businesses were going to have to endure
Yeah.
because of governmental regulations and political agendas. And so I went on and I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
oh, blurry cry. I'm like, I literally was doing the, you cry so bad, you're like,
The ugly cry. Yeah. Can't catch it. Yeah. Hmm. The
it
ugly
was
cry.
very embarrassing. And then I sat there with like post, no post, post and post. And then I was like, oh, do it. I'm like, I don't care what people think. That needs to be said. And the response was the opposite. It was so
Yeah.
powerful. I had local representatives calling me like, hey, are you okay? I was like, oh, okay. And B, thank you for that. And thank you for
Yeah.
sharing your struggles. And it was a call to
Yeah.
action also for the communities that loved a lot of these small businesses, restaurants and coffee
Yeah.
shops. And it was a call to action
Yeah.
for citizens to support small business, because
Yeah.
actually in the United States, it's something like 80 to 85% of businesses are small businesses. They are not the multi-billion dollar businesses that make up the majority of companies in the United States. It's people like me, people like my husband
Yeah.
and I. So
Sure. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was important.
Wow. Well, I think it's I the transparency and just bringing out, you know, we're all human, and we're all smart enough to know that the fluff on social media, if you're not exposing, and I think that's probably why I probably go to the extreme of just exposing it all. And that's one of the things, again, with Behind the Daily Fight and my keynote, right, is just, let's get it out there. Let's just lay it out on the table and stand here pretty much, you know, vulnerable and naked, and just let it all out without airing the dirty details, but just being, I'm human. I'm not sure what I'm doing, but I know that I've got a message and a mission inside, and that I'm doing this for a bigger purpose. I've got kids involved. I've got a family that I love, and because we all want the same thing, right? Everybody wants love and security and health and a home, and we all want to travel. We all want time freedom. It's silly to think that everybody wants to be confined to some like 9 to 5 job and debt and credit card debt. And I mean, that's just silly. We all want the same things. Nobody wants to be like hated on or, you know, so, but
Yeah.
there's always a deeper meaning behind what we're really doing. And you've shared a lot about that here. But if you were, let's just say you gave your fortify your future, that's your keynote, right? Is fortify
Yes.
your future. You just gave that keynote speech. I mean, it was just like the best speech of your life. And you walk out of the room. What do you want that audience to be saying about you behind your back?
I hope that they're inspired first and entertained, because I definitely
Yeah.
believe in the entertainment
Yes.
factor of that.
Yes.
And I'm
Yeah.
kind of a goofball, so on
Yeah.
stage I get
I've seen
really
you
bad.
are. You are fun, right?
Yeah.
So, and that shows that badasses and tough women can still have a fun, energetic, playful side to us.
Yeah,
But
I'm
what
a
do you want them
goofball,
to say
but
about you?
about me. So that, and I think what I really want them to leave with, besides um, being inspired and thinking like, oh, she's kind of a goofball, is that their perspective changes even just like a millimeter, right? I think
Mhm.
that in my life, when I look at all the things, when I'm able to, when I'm in the midst of something, the storm or the transition from one career or the other, one identity or the other, or a financial situation, if you can change like a little perspective, doesn't even have to be a massive overhaul, but just like a little poof, then it changes. Like it doesn't take months and months and months of doing that. The execution of plans does, but life changes in moments, in seconds when you change that
Right.
perspective. And so I feel like if I'm up there and they leave, that's what they think about me, is like, oh my God, I didn't think of that. Wow, that's a different way of looking at it. Maybe I've been looking at this all wrong. And whatever it is, be it fitness, not having the time or prioritizing it, or hardships, or who you want to be. I feel like when I was younger, I'm from Belgian, Western European parents. And so when I came to the United States, I came for college. And I didn't really know a lot about the United States. I came here in my sophomore year of high school. So I was like, I didn't even know much about the SATs. Like, I was a classically trained ballerina. I was going to New York to become a ballerina in a company. And so um, my perspective was very small. And so, though I wouldn't change anything in my past, had I seen some of the other opportunities when I chose myself to go to college and open my horizons, I didn't know like
Yeah.
for about the military and the possibilities for, or different job types, or different, just that perspective. And when I was 19, I took a program called Landmark Forum, which was through Landmark Education. It's an international company. And it's a program which there's lots of them out there. You choose whatever you want, but that program, hands down, gave me the tool to be able to change the perspective. The story we tell ourselves and what's
Right.
really happening are not usually the same. And so if you can look at things different, you have an opportunity to pick a different option. So if you think you're always, you know, gonna you're never going to be able to run that race, or you're never going to be able to achieve that, you know, the wealth beyond what your parents had, or the status or whatever that is. If you are able to shift that perspective,
Yeah.
it changes your options, just makes the world bigger.
So that's amazing. I hear what you want to make them do and feel, but
Yeah.
I don't hear what you want them to say about you.
Say that I look awesome for 52.
Okay, there you go. That's what I was
That's what I
looking
want to say.
for.
Man, she is a
That
badass.
there you go. That's what I was looking for. But you keep going with that. I wrote down some words, but like I was like, she's talking, and we often do that. We
Yeah.
deflect. I have a lot of, well, like, what do we want them to do? What do we want them to feel? How do we want them to be? What our purpose and our message is? But like when we walk in and out of the room, what is it that we've come to make them like come alive? Like, wait, right? Like, I'm like a wake up artist. I want them to, she's energetic, she's passionate, man. She's a firecracker. Like, she's wild, she's powerful, right? Like, she's a badass, like
Yeah.
she's, small but mighty, right? So, like, I wrote like change maker, insightful for you because those seem to be the things like you really want to kind of get in their head and unlock, be the key
Hmm.
to kind of unlock their mindset and really shift them into
Yeah.
like a different, like they're here and they're doing good, but like if they just did this one little thing, they'd be,
Yeah.
a whole lot like better off in a different,
Y-
way. But
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
glad.
I think the ego part will be, I think that speaks to ego though, like what I want them to think about me. I joke like, yeah, I want them to be inspired. Yeah, I want them to think I look awesome for a 50-year-old or
Yeah,
whatever those things are, but that's not what gets me up there. That's very
sure,
small
sure,
piece
right,
of it. And so it's that other part. And I, as a coach and as a keynote speaker too, because everybody's a little bit different, is I don't want to hold people's hands, and you have to
right.
do the work, like, right? Like we've talked
Oh,
about this.
sure.
Like, I don't want to hold
Oh,
your
yeah.
hand and each step of the
No
way tell you,
babysitting.
okay, now you need to do this and now you need to do that. And
Yes.
so
Yeah.
I'm not that person, and I'm not that person for my coaching clients either. I'm just going to kind of help you weed
And yeah,
out
there's
all
another
the,
thing she does too, guys. She's also a coach. So
yeah,
make sure you go check her out on those show notes with all of her information. We
yeah,
missed that you were a coach. We had to add that one in there too. But go
yeah.
ahead. Yes, we
But
know, yeah, you're definitely not the babysitter type. Like you are that powerhouse that's like you're gonna lead them and guide them and direct them and train them up. But we are not there to like,
I'm just going to
pat
point
you
you
on
to
the
the right
back and
direction. Go
babysit.
that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're going to have to
Yeah.
discover that, but go that way
Absolutely.
and do the work.
Sure. Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
sure.
So part of the daily fight and fighting for your future self and what I stand for is really, um, you already are very bold and unapologetic and fierce, or you wouldn't be sitting here today with me, and I wouldn't be friends with you, and you would not be in my circle at all. And you certainly wouldn't be in my text telling me to don't be a crybaby, get your shit done in the next 2 hours. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the woman that made me get some stuff done when I was trying to get out of it. So if you definitely need a force in your corner that's going to hold you accountable, and I don't know how you work with your coaching clients, but she is not going to let you get away with anything.
Right.
So make sure you definitely go follow her. And she's a lot of fun. She's not just a hard ass. She's actually a lot of fun with a really good, awesome brain and heart attached to all of that. But that's something I value in somebody. I don't want a fluffy cheerleader, partner, coach, like you said, even with the people, that's your environment. I'm also sometimes feel trapped. I don't have people in my circle that are like me, and I'm really trying to build, like you, a community of women around me that are a little bit rebelling against average and badasses, that because we can't fight alone.
Hmm.
As 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 as
Yeah.
as as, as you know, as warrior as we can be, you cannot fight alone. You need other perspectives to call out your blind spots, to brainstorm with, to give you ideas, not to validate you, not to give you recognition and attaboys, but it's nice to cheer on the victories, right? But also to just keep you in alignment, to keep you focused, to kind of like pull you up on the hard days, but to really just keep pushing you forward and to push those edges, because most of the people will keep you where you're at or they'll pull you back down.
Hmm.
So I'm going to ask you a doozy question. I think it's a doozy. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready. Hit me.
Okay. This is an opportunity. Now you can deny it. You don't have to answer it. But this is your chance, and it's so much of a doozy that it's legit not even typed. It is written in blue here, scribbled, that it came out of this brain, this wild, audacious Tigger brain of mine after I was reading my show notes. Um, I'll give you two options. One is, or it's really just one option, but what are you resisting that you would really like to tell the world boldly, and it might not be the world, but your world, right? Boldly and unapologetically, if you had the one chance, which you do today, right here, and I know it's our world, but this is your opportunity to voice boldly, unapologetically something that is inside of you, stirring restlessness, that you would just like to release today, surrender today, question today, fight for today, because that's really what I'm all about. And this is your opportunity to just put it out there with no fear, no guilt, no shame, no judgment on yourself or from others. And if they do, who cares? What would be that thing that you would want to tell the world today?
Gosh, I don't know. I don't know that there's, I don't know that there, I wish there was a better response to it, but I don't know that there's anything that I'm haven't declared for myself. If I take a snapshot of where I am right now in my life, I'm in a season of transition. Because
Okay.
as I've mentioned a couple times, I'm in my early 50s. My spouse is 11 years older than me, and we've been
Okay.
doing the same business, you know, simultaneously with other ones that we've grown, but the main business are Paradise Hills Winery for 24 years. And so I'm in a season of transition. And so it doesn't matter how many times I've been here, that getting comfortable with the unknown
Mhm.
is my big struggle still.
Okay.
And I've done this so many times. Like
Yeah.
I've done this enough times. You know, I've moved when I was about
One would
16.
think you should be comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, but not knowing what the future looks like, not knowing
Yeah.
exactly the path, the back and forth as
Okay.
things present, and doing
Mm.
your due diligence, but balancing that with like not forcing things, leaving room
Yes.
for opportunities, that that back and forth, it's like a tug of war, never gets easier. All it does is the circumstances change. And as you get bigger as a company or those things get bigger, versus when I was, 19 trying to figure out what I was going to do for my life. They're
Yeah.
different challenges, but it doesn't get easier. And that's the season I'm in, right? I've had my
Yeah.
business. My business has been on the market so that I could sell it. I already
Yeah.
have, the whole speaking keynote business, the coaching business I've been doing for 4 years. And so that's for my next season. I'm so ready to like be 1,000% there, but I can't
Yeah.
be because I've built this beautiful
Mm.
business that I want to continue or pass on to the next person or generation or so not knowing is is hard. It's hard, especially if you are, a type A or used
Yeah.
to the confidence and clarity. I don't always have that. And we spoke a little bit right before we went on, is even now I have these two amazing candidates as
Right. Yeah.
a really a key managerial position in my company. And how do you know? At the end of the day, you tally up all the competencies, the values of the people, the interpersonal skills, the all of the thing, and then you just toss a coin and you go, I hope I'm picking the right one.
Right. Yeah.
And and the grace of God, like I cannot not leave today without saying that there's a certain level of um, that you think you control that you really don't, and the grace of God has stepped in my life when I
Absolutely.
have done the due diligence, done the work, done the and I still couldn't find my way out, and he helped me. He opened a
Absolutely.
door or a window or something there that allowed me to step out of the transition into a direction. And so yeah, that's what transition spots are about, and that's where I am now, for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, I'm so glad that you mentioned that. Well, let's have a little fun at the end. How what does that does that sound good to you? I like
Yeah,
to,
yeah, yeah.
not that this is the middle of our day as we're filming this, but one of my principles with my clients is to do the hard thing first, then do the easy thing, and then end your day with something fun.
Fun,
So
yeah.
technically the hard thing was me interviewing somebody on my podcast, which kind of wasn't really hard at all because it was easy, because it was you and you're awesome and you're amazing and
And
I
our
know you.
conversation just flows. I feel like
Yes.
that's how
Good.
you, like we were saying, what does your gut say? When you meet
Oh,
people and that conversation flows and you have similar interests and
yeah.
similar, then those are people you want to keep in your circle.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's have some fun
Well,
because I think a lot of the times we resonate with people. We like to know behind the scenes who they really are. So we're gonna play a little round of some rapid fire questions. Just fun to kind of get to know the Ilka behind the Ilka that wears all these many awesome, amazing, badass hats. So without overthinking it, I'm just gonna ask you this or that, and you just tell
okay.
me which one. Okay? You
Okay.
ready?
Yeah, go
So
for
we're
it.
just gonna go as quick as we can, as quick as I can read. All right.
Okay.
Tacos or pizza? Now you're defeating the whole did you freeze up on me? Oh no, you froze. Ah, wait, hold on. We'll have to come back. I lost you.
Okay. I
Wait,
hear
wait,
you now.
wait. Yeah,
One of
okay,
us
we
is
froze for a
frozen.
second. Okay, we'll have to delete that part out. Okay, let's
Okay.
try it again. Thank God this isn't live, right? So,
Oh,
okay. All
hold
right,
on one
so
second though. It says, I think it was on my end, but go ahead. I'm ready.
okay. All right, so let's go. We're going to go with some rapid fire. Don't overthink it. Here we go. Tacos or pizza?
Pizza.
Yes. Wine or beer?
Oh, wine. I have a winery. Wine.
You are at a winery. Yes. Go out or stay in?
Stay in for
This
sure.
is why we're friends. Okay.
Yeah.
Pillows on the bed or no pillows on the bed?
Oh, heck no. No pillows.
Oh, I have Care Bears on my bed. Okay. So that's another podcast. Cold or hot?
Cold.
Messy or neat?
Oh, I'm a neat person.
Okay. All right. Cook at home or takeout?
I'm a good cook, so I cook at home, and my husband too. So
Okay. All right. Dressed up or casual?
I prefer to be casual, not to think about it
Spont
a lot.
No, okay. Spontaneous road trip or planned vacation?
Yes.
Wait,
Both.
both?
I'll do
Just take
one in
me
the beginning of
anywhere,
the
right?
year and one at the end of the year.
Yes.
No, I think
I
I
like,
probably plan the big things like the flight, the
yes, yes.
hotel, the thing, and
I
then the
got you.
rest is
Yeah.
spontaneous.
Yep. Yeah, I hear you. I've got it on my battle board. It's every quarter it's like the big vacation, and then the little ones are like they can just be like beach trips or mountain trips or something like quick and easy. But all right, I think I know this one, but city life or country living?
Country living all the way.
I know. Early riser, night owl.
I am naturally a night
Okay.
owl that's been converted to an early
To
riser though. So
an
I do get up
riser.
at 5:30. So
Yeah. I'm a little bit of both. Phone call or text?
Text.
Yep. Rock or pop music for a road trip?
Oh, rock and roll. I'm Gen X. That pop bullshit.
And I'm going roll the windows down, even though now we
Yeah.
just push buttons. Like there, just totally saw the Gen X
If
come
you
out because
know
we had to roll.
this,
Yes,
you can be in my circle. If
yes.
you don't
If
know
you
what
know
I'm
what this
doing,
means,
yeah.
yeah. Okay. Sneakers or sandals?
Sneakers.
Yes, I have my sneakers on. Okay.
Me too.
Thrill ride or beach chair?
Beach chair.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolates all the way.
Ah, read a book or watch a movie?
Hmm. Probably watch a movie, though I
Okay.
really do. I read nonfiction though all the time. My kids make
Okay.
me read fiction every now and then because they're like, "Mom, it's enough."
Yeah.
But I would watch a movie.
Okay, got it. Yeah, they're like, no more personal development, no more
No.
life lessons, mom. That's
They're
enough
like,
for today.
"Oh,
Yeah, okay. All right. Window seat or aisle?
aisle all the way." I'm
All right.
long leg. I got long legs. I'm like, I
Yeah.
cannot stand all that.
Dance floor or people watching?
Yeah, I'm on the dance floor. Depends on how
Yes,
much I've had
yes.
to drink. No, just kidding.
Yeah. How much wine we have on the dance floor. All right, last one. Oh, well, I guess this what movie marathon or game night?
Movie marathon.
Movie marathon. All right, awesome. I just thought that was fun. You get a lot to know a lot about people when you ask them quick questions like that. But listen, Ilka, thank you for allowing me to inspire courage today and to show up on the Daily Fight podcast. Is there anything else that you would like to share today with the audience? With if there's any last, if there's anything from this podcast or anything that we didn't touch on, in the last 2 or 3 minutes, if there's anything that you would like to share,
I think,
speak now or forever hold your peace until your next, Instagram post.
oh, it's like a wedding. Oh no, the pressure.
No
No,
pressure
I think,
whatsoever.
I mean, I think your audience already knows, but it's definitely worth repeating. And that's that you are an awesome human being and so giving to your community to and you show up authentically. And so those things are easy to say, but to do them regularly, that's a
Yeah,
lot of, it's hard. It's hard because you're taking out the effects of what everything on the outside is telling you and showing up for those people. And
yeah.
so I think that's awesome. I think that we need
Thanks.
more people like you in the world doing that so we can see,
Don't
you know,
make
what
me
it takes.
cry.
Oh, it what it takes to show up the way you want to, and so you've had plenty of challenges that you have as proof, you know, in there. But
Yeah,
to for your people to be able to be led by somebody, and your coaching clients, I'm sure, would say the same thing, who has walked the walk, right? Who has done the things that they're trying to achieve and can help them and guide them. That's so huge and so awesome. And I'm so grateful for you. I'm grateful for you in my own personal circle, like my own you know, self-serving reasons.
yeah,
But then also that connection. I think my word this year for 2024 was connection, and I was
yeah,
determined to add more really great women, like all around great, not just good at, you know, not just bodybuilder or business person,
right.
but all
Yeah,
around doing great things in their lives and showing that you can have your cake and eat it too. You can
yeah.
have that life. And so, so I'm grateful for you, friend.
Oh, well, I wasn't expecting that answer, but I will take it and put that in my back pocket. Thank
Good,
you
you deserved it.
so much. Everything you just said, thank you. Um, it brings me back to when I first met you, which I think was like two years ago online. It could have even been 3 years ago now when Anthony first started our group, and it was like nobody in the group. Remember, there was like three or four of
Yeah.
us. and you were a couple months, we were a couple months into it or whatever. And what drew me to you was like, the group had just started or something, and you had been a part of a different group with him or so. I don't remember, but he had merged some stuff.
Yeah.
And long story short, and we will wrap this up. The thing that drew me to you, Ilka, was that you came back and you were like, dude, I had pretty much just ghosted everybody in my life for like a month
Oh,
because I had shit to do and shit to take care of. And I basically said, and I'm totally, guys, I'm just doing this off the riff. She pretty much just gave a middle finger to everybody but herself and what she needed to do to take care of herself, mind, body, heart, and soul, to get herself into a place where that she could merge back into traffic and handle her stuff. And I was like, I need to know this woman, like she is my people. And that was my first like impression of you. It wasn't like
I
you were
remember.
just like no fluff, cut to. And I was like, I remember hopping on and do like he had us doing video chats, like selfies of, and now he's got like 350 or something people in the group or whatever. And so us that were first in at the beginning, that was my first impression of you. And that was just, I remember it like it was yesterday. And I was like, I need to know this woman. Like she's got to be, she's me. She's speaking my speak. I see her, I hear her, I feel her. And I'm like, not that I need permission for anything, but it gave me additional permission and back, like more ammunition to go, okay, there's
Yeah.
other people out there like me. I'm not alone. Like I'm not alone. Like I'm not the only one with this mentality that you can actually do that and show up like that. And so that really helped me just, I guess the word is validate or recognize or acknowledge that, like, one, I'm not alone, and two, dude, I can do this. Like I'm not crazy. The dreams, the audaciousness inside of me, like she just did it. Like I'm gonna do it too. So that was cool. So to be here two
Yeah,
or
I
3 years later, I
remember
can't
it
remember.
actually. Now that
Yeah.
you brought it, I remember it.
Yes.
And it's really just because you sometimes you just got to retreat and take care of
Yeah.
business and then go.
Yep.
Like I think
And you
we
did.
think success is like a straight line, and it isn't. It is not.
No.
It's like
No.
up and then down. And as long as
Yeah.
the you take 4 steps forward and 3 down, and then 2 more up and 1 down, as long
Yeah.
as there's still some trajectory up, you're
Mm-hmm.
doing good. And
Yep.
so getting used to the step 3, 5, back, it's not linear at all. It's
Yeah.
not just you keep going and you keep doing better every time. Sometimes you just bite the big one and you just are like, oh, but somebody said you
Yeah.
don't, what is it? It's not a set back, it's a set up.
Right. And I
That's,
think the thing is that like we're so caught up in, and not that we could go on to another podcast, but we're gonna wrap this up. But like it's like we're so caught, you gotta show up, you gotta show up, you gotta show up, and we are showing up. But like sometimes showing up means privately. Showing up
mhm,
means getting organized and doing the dark work, as Anthony says, or the inner work, doing the questions and getting your business implemented and integrated behind the scenes. So it might mean I might not be posting on social media, but that doesn't mean that I'm not showing up. I might not be in the group this month because I'm doing some other things that need to get done. And you
yeah,
had not the courage, but you had the bit like the bravery to actually do it, and then to come back. And I've done it 2 or 3 times in the group since then, like, hey, like, dude, I gotta go do this right now for my family or for my kid, right? Like I just got out of the hospital, like 9 days in the hospital with my son, and then right into a hurricane, and then right back into business, right? And I think that's how we build our mental resilience and pacing or whatnot. But like just because we're not always showing up on social media doesn't mean we're
mhm,
not doing the work. And I think that's another thing is business owners and entrepreneurs or writers and speakers, that like that doesn't mean that we're inconsistent, right? Or we're not persevering. Or for the woman
no,
out there that feels like she's lagging behind, I think is what I'm trying to get to, that sometimes you do need to go ghost some of the stuff in your life, not all of it, but like what. And that just, it stood out for me. And that was like your handshake to me through
yeah.
for
Nice to meet
online.
you.
And I was like, dude, she is mine. I need to get to know her. And so here we are, people.
Yeah,
That's how you make connections, and that's how you get to know and let your walls down, that like you can rely on other women that are strong and tough, and they're not your competition, that they're your support system, and
We
and that they
can
can.
we can learn a lot from like ancient warfare and battlefields and history in
Yeah.
the past. And retreating is not weakness. Retreating is
Yeah.
regrouping, is
Yes.
debriefing, is
Yep.
reflecting, is so that's okay. That's good. It's strategy. And then
Yeah.
also in battle, in ancient times, they nobody, unless you were a
Yeah.
gladiator, which that's a whole other thing.
Right,
You
right, right.
go in teams and you build a strategy and you show up with
Right.
other people like you with the same mission and you build those, and the chicken shits who can't do them, you don't put them on the front line, you put them in the back, and so we can really translate a lot of those old ancient warfare tactics and ways
Yeah.
of being that from those times that are very applicable to the times we have today, because we might
Yeah.
not be going to battle or to war. Some of us are
Right.
military, obviously, but
Yeah.
for those things in our daily lives. But
Sure.
it is to us, it is. You're battling for the dream that you have, the person you want to be, the person you want to show up for your
1000%.
children, for your future self, just like you say. You're
Yep.
fighting for
Yeah.
your future self. So we have a lot of you know, correlations that we can make with some of those tactics for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, you just wrapped that up. I don't have to say anything or do anything now. You just pulled the words right out of my heart. So thank you. So
Awesome.
you guys, you got to go to make sure you follow, like, share this. Although I hate call to actions, because I'm the type of person that's like, dude, if you like it or you want to share it, you're going to share it and you're going to like it and you're going to follow it anyways. And if not, then you're not, and you're probably not watching or listening here right now. So it doesn't really matter anyways. But if you are still hanging in there, let us know your thoughts or your notes. You can email me, and you can go follow Ilka. And I believe she's on Instagram, she's on Facebook. Are you on LinkedIn or any of the other
Yeah,
ones? Or
yeah, I'm on
okay.
LinkedIn,
And
I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook.
okay.
And
Okay.
so follow me.
All right. So go grab those down in the show notes, guys, and then let us know your thoughts, and keep fighting for your future self. Thanks for joining us on the Daily Fight. Peace out.